Hi, Oliver. Can I come in?
Oh, absolutely, you're right on time. So I thought we could spend some time today creating an action plan.
Okay.
Well, quick summary. We've had some really productive calls and meetings lately in our efforts to build your teaching skills. We've discussed that reaching goal this year is of particular priority, and with our targeted focus on big accounts like Gadgets, Sigma, and Acme, I think we're well on the way to getting there. Would you agree?
Yes, I'm definitely having more success getting through to my customer contacts. Emily's also been a great partner to help me test out messages. A lot of the tips she's given me on delivery have really paid off in my live presentations, so I've been feeling more confident going after the bigger deals.
It's great to hear. So, well, then if it'd be all right, I'd like to shift our focus in this meeting to a longer-term plan. That is, what are you hoping to accomplish as a next step professionally? I'll capture your thoughts so we can revisit this in future conversations.
Okay. Well, as you know, I've been with the company for some time. I'd like to explore ways I can move up. I'm one of the more tenured sales team members, so my thinking is that I might have a lot to offer as a manager.
Okay, so I've written that you're interested in moving up and possibly serving as a manager. So as you think about that next step, what strengths do you currently have to help you?
Well, I'm very good at follow-up and making reasonable requests of my customers. So maybe those skills would help me with coaching others. I also am good at listening and taking constructive criticism to heart. And I've built a number of friendly working relationships with peers on the team. So I bet I would be able to establish a good rapport with a team of my own.
Okay, great. Now, looking on the other side, what behavior or skill gaps might prevent you from reaching your goal?
Well, frankly, I don't have a ton of experience managing others. I wouldn't know how to have a conversation with someone who isn't on track. Although I would at least have lots of experience to help teach them what it should look like. I also think coaching would be different for me. Setting a plan for someone, asking questions along the way to help get them engaged, it's just not something I've had to do before.
Anything else?
Maybe balancing my time. You certainly spend a good amount of time with me, so I can only imagine what that would look like with a whole team. And while also having responsibility for meeting my sales quota, that'd be tough. Sometimes I struggle just to think about how to allocate time among my accounts.
Okay, so of the areas you just listed, what would have the biggest impact in your success if you got it right? Or perhaps, what do you think is the most important for our focus?
Probably the coaching. It seems like an important aspect of being a manager, but I feel pretty lost thinking about how I would do it well.
Okay. Well, what ideas do you have for how we might build your coaching skills?
Well, I'm learning a lot from our coaching sessions, so maybe we could talk more openly about what you're doing. That is, what you're thinking about when you're coaching me.
That's an interesting idea, and one that's definitely feasible. Yeah, I can certainly be more explicit about the steps I'm taking and my approach. What else?
Maybe we could role play? Although, actually, it might be more helpful to get some baseline knowledge first. Maybe I could attend a training on coaching.
That could be worthwhile at some point. Would it be all right if I offer an idea?
Absolutely.
Now, earlier you mentioned your experience at this company as a strength, which I completely agree with. And yet one of the harder things as a coach is determining when it's appropriate to teach an answer versus when it makes more sense to work together to come up with a way forward. We have a new hire, Sam. He'll be joining the team next Monday. I think it'd be a great opportunity, if all right with you, to pair you with Sam as his peer coach. This will be a chance to start focusing on your skills and exploring when you'll need to teach him about the business versus using coaching to help him build new skills and behaviors. How's that sound to you?
That would be really great.
We'll carve out time in our individual check-ins to go over your progress with Sam. We can talk about the challenges you encounter and any questions you have about coaching. I think this would be a good way to help you get some early support towards becoming an effective manager. Plus, I'll be more open about my approach as a coach, as you mentioned, so you can learn more in real time. And then maybe down the line, after you've had some informal experience, we can look into some more formal training opportunities.
Great. I look forward to all of it. So will you give me any guidance prior to Sam's first day?
Oh yes, definitely. I'll spend a little time pulling together a potential timeline for how we'll integrate you into Sam's onboarding. What I'd like to ask of you in advance of our next meeting is to think about Sam's perspective. What are some of the questions you think he'll have of you as a coach? What will he be excited about, and what will his concerns be? I think this would be a good way to start framing your thinking in terms of your role as coach, and we can discuss these as a jumping off point.
I can do that.
At the same time, I also want to make sure we have a clear picture of what success looks like for you in this plan. Now, aside from planning for Sam's arrival, let's set up a quick meeting later this week to set SMART goals. And in advance of that conversation, I'd like you to draft some ideas of how to make our plan to build your coaching skills specific, something we can measure and something that feels attainable but with some stretch. Why don't we think about 60 days as our time frame? What will we see or hear in 60 days in terms of your relationship with Sam that would let us know that you've grown as a coach?
Makes sense. I wonder if I can help Sam with his teaching, much like we've been working on. That would be a positive outcome.
Definitely would. And I think you'll learn a lot along the way.